Alex Guardiola, President, CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Central New England, here with us and ready to talk about, well, we're going to get to some scams today, actually, and I know everybody is always interested in what scams are going around. We do that about once a month that we check in with Alex on those. And also, Alex, you've been up to a lot. The BBB has been up to a lot.
Yeah, thanks again for having us. It's a new year, 2025, so we have a lot of events that we've really been working on for our business members and our consumers alike, and I think it's important to have that educational piece so folks know some of them are scams, but others are about, thinking about how you can work with your other partners to move the needle on your company or a project along or be weary of certain things. So we did a kind of a seminar with our partners at the Auburn Chamber of Commerce, the Realtors Association of Central Massachusetts, and Bay State Savings Bank, who did a panel for us. So I was lucky enough to moderate the panel. We had President and CEO of Bay State Savings Bank, Seth Pitts, on that panel. We had Anthony Pasquale, who's the Chief Commercial Banking Officer at Bay State. And we had Stephanie Soden, who's the Vice President and Retail Lending Officer at Bay State Savings. So it was a good mix because of the fact that we had a cross-section of folks in the room. And we had a full room, 60 people. We hit the capacity there at the Realtors Association, who were kind enough to host us in Auburn. But again, just a great conversation to talk about some of the things. And really the big message and kind of the conversation was steered by obtaining capital in a volatile market, right? We talk about interest rates all the time, and there was really a big conversation piece prior to the election that interest rates were going to drop down to 3% or 2.5%, and we haven't seen that yet. And the conversation was really around the fact that we may not see that. We may, there's promises on the campaign trail all the time on either side, but the reality may be that we may be around 5%, and that, traditionally has been great. During the pandemic, some of us got down to 2.95 or 2.84, right? The conversation was that those may not be realistic numbers going forward. It's almost time to kind of level it off. So, talking on the realtor side was great because homeownership is such a big part of people's future in central Massachusetts, right? Obviously we have great rental availability, whether it's market or affordable, and we need much more. But homeownership gives you that kind of pathway to, kind of internal equity. So you can actually start building equity within your own family, being able to take some money out later in life for retirement or college funds, things of that nature. So on that retail side was important. But then for our commercial folks, talking about what commercial space looks like and especially, we talked about this in the past, a lot of development was stymied because of interest rates over the last year plus. When they're in the 7 and 8%, the numbers just don't work. And a lot of these projects may have been stalled and pushed forward and kicked down the road. But the conversation was great to have, the different, expert kind of level conversations. And obviously having the president and CEO, Seth Pitts, there just really solidified the entire conversation.
Yeah, this is great. Is this something that the BBB, I don't remember talking as much about this with some of these roundtables in the past years. Is this something that you're focusing on a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's important for our business members to not just to kind of hear about what's going on, but to get together and do a little networking. There's always going to be networking events, right? Whether it's with the chambers or with, other various business groups. But this is an opportunity to talk to other businesses or business members or consumers who may be in the same boat as you, right? And when we're talking about interest rates, that could be a cross-section of anybody, right? And again, I'm talking as a person who doesn't own a commercial building. So listening to the realtors talk about some of the concerns that their buyers or sellers are having was really just enlightening to me as just an individual, not as president CEO of the Better Business Bureau, but again, and then on the business side, we represent almost 3,000 businesses in the region and all the way to Western Mass. So those are conversations that are always asked upon us and asked to have. So it was really a great conversation, and and again, we appreciate the realtors hosting us because their space is fantastic out in Auburn. So. Really just something that we're going to kind of move forward with different kind of topics that are top of mind to folks and real concerns.
Alex, I know you have some scams for us today, some scams that are out there that people need to be aware of and not get caught by.
Yeah, and I think this kind of resonates here in Massachusetts specifically because I've gotten these, and I know a handful of friends have gotten these, and it's this Easy Drive MA text scam. So the Department of Mass Transportation is warning the residents about a new scam targeting Massachusetts phone numbers. Individuals are receiving fraudulent text messages or emails falsely claiming that they're from the Easy Drive MA. And again, that easily can be translated into the Easy Pass, right? And I think the majority of us who have to use the Pike have an Easy Pass, because if not, you're paying by plate. So when you get that text that,
I owe $6.99, Alex. I got it like 3 times over a couple of weekends ago, and it was just so oddly specific. I owe $6.99 for some missed toll or something. I'm like, what a weird number.
Yeah, and the messages demand the payment for unpaid tolls and include links for phishing websites designed to steal sensitive information. It doesn't exclusively target drivers either, meaning anyone, drivers, non-drivers alike, should stay informed about avoiding these scams and falling victim. So for Massachusetts specifically, we have that Easy Pass toll on our devices, whatever it may be. Of course, you go down the Northeast corridors, whether it's New York City or the Jersey Turnpike. Again, they have a similar system that can utilize the Easy Pass. So it's super important to make sure that, one, you're not going to get a text message from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. They are going to send you have an email account or you have some sort of account with them. You're going to get a letter. They're going to get a hard letter. That's something that we always talk about. Government entities typically don't send you information asking you to pay by Bitcoin, right? I mean, these are the things that we have to be mindful of. So just quickly how it works, the scammer impersonates this Easy Drive MA organization and send you a fraudulent text message requesting a bill payment. They often claim unpaid tolls, like you said, Hank, or threaten fines for non-payment. Again, none of us want extra fines. We work hard for our money, and if I have a parking ticket, trust me, I run down to City Hall and pay it in person, because I can't have that on my conscience. So, the message includes links to fake websites. They mimic the official Easy Pass page, and then their branding appears to be legitimate. It looks like you're dealing with Mass DOT. The urgency created by threats and fines makes the scam seem really effective. They seem like they're real. Scammers often request small amounts to make a payment seem minor, increasing the likelihood that recipients will comply. So $6.99 doesn't sound like $1 billion, right? It's like, all right, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. Let's just pay the $6.99. But first of all, that $6.99 times 1,000 adds up pretty quickly. But secondly, they get access to your personal information, and that's where we have to be real cognizant of the fact that getting your personal information is almost more important than the actual $6.99.
The $6.99 is just gravy for them. What they really want is to have me respond and for us to respond and give them that access.
Yeah, so we have a couple tips for folks, and verify through the official channels. If you get one of these texts, why don't you call Mass DOT, the Easy Pass department, and ask them, do I owe any money? That's a big one, right? Because they'll tell you if you owe money. So that's to make sure you're calling them directly. Check the area code. If the messages are coming from outside, especially the ones from out of country, they have a +91 in the front of it, not a typical area code that you would see. That should be a red flag for you. If you do have to make a payment for whatever reason, and you should not, make sure you're using secure payments, never through gift cards, never through cryptocurrency, things of that nature. And report suspicious messages. Make sure that you're letting us know, because we can pass this along like we are right now. We can talk to our local officials. We can talk to our government officials and say, hey, this is something that we should be on top of. And, just to let folks know, the FBI is all over this now, because this has become a big deal. So we want to make sure that there are a lot of folks that are making sure that people are not being scammed. So we work directly with government officials, with our Attorney General's office, the FBI, whatever it may be, to make sure that we're trying to work on this with everybody.
Very good. All right, so don't be fooled by that Easy Pass text scam. And boy, is it going around.
Yeah.
What else is out there that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, one that really is very current, and we want to make sure folks know. Obviously, there's some really bad things going on in California with the wildfires. So we're warning folks of the scams regarding Los Angeles wildfires and how to fall for these scams. Again, I think I've mentioned this in the past. people prey on your heartstrings. If you feel like, oh my God, that's awful things, that's a fire and destroying people's homes, I want to donate some money. The communities across the nation are coming together to support victims. While the generosity is commendable, scammers are exploiting the crisis to target both victims and well-meaning donors. So the BBB of Central New England urges everyone to remain vigilant when contributing to wildfire, relief efforts. Making sure that you're not donating to a fake charity. Phishing emails. If a lot of these are going to be similar to other scams, they're going to just try to get your information or try to get some money out of you. So verify the source. Do not click or kind of scan QR codes from unsolicited messages, right? I mean, again, we got to make sure that you're dealing with the right people. Do the research on your charities. There's some that we have on our website. Come to bbb.org that we have verified for you. If you want to donate and really be a good Samaritan and try to give some money to these folks, that's what you really want to do. And then you really want to make sure that you're, spot impersonators. Because again, what they do is they mimic like the Red Cross, or they mimic all the other, and it just may be just one letter off, or maybe just maybe Red Cross with a an X at the end without something that you wouldn't verify because you're looking at the webpage, right? So making sure you're looking for the right website that you want to donate, and then donate directly. Don't worry about someone sending you a text message. Yeah. You go to the Red Cross, or you go to Direct Relief or United Way of Greater Los Angeles, California Community Foundation for Wildlife Relief Fund. Again, you can go directly to them. You don't have to wait for them to send you a unsolicited text or email. And again, we always ask, report it to us, because we want to also keep track of this and kind of help make sure that other folks aren't falling for these scams. So these are really something that are just really timely and want to make sure folks know about.
Very good, Alex Guardiola. What else do we need to know and best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, please. It's a new year. We have a lot of new events coming up. We have our Western Mass Awards coming up this spring, as we did with our annual meeting, Fall Awards for Central Mass. So we're really, for our folks in the Western Mass area, please, or Central Mass if you're interested. We really are excited to kind of start putting together that program. We have a lot of these seminars that I spoke about earlier. Our scam presentations, we just did one at the Worcester Public Library. Those are free to the public. Come in and we'll talk a little more in depth about these scams. So bbb.org, or we're right on 400 Grove Street, or call us 508-755-3340.